Showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it, is how you express love to yourself. Yes, you're gonna have days where you don't feel like showing up. It's important to take these breaks sometimes so that we can make sure that we are showing up the best way possible and that we're showing up in a way that actually makes sense. We're all human beings, we're not machines. And the key is, if there is something that's like throwing you off, don't be mad at yourself, just look into it.
What's good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. We have a new mic. Hey, I'm so excited. I literally have had this mic for like over a year and I just never figured out how to use it. So we're here now. That means that this video will also be available on podcast platforms now. I'll leave a link to that down below if you guys are interested in listening versus watching. Today I want to talk about consistency because it's literally so important. Like, I think consistency is honestly more important than showing up perfectly sometimes. Am I gonna get tired of holding this? Maybe I should clip it here. Okay, this is probably a bit better, right? Hopefully you guys can still hear me okay. And this can like apply to so many different areas of your life. I think whether you do social media or you're creative or you have a business, or maybe you're just working on getting really in shape in the gym, or I don't know what it could be for you, but if you wanna see results, if you wanna be great at what you do or build your dream life, like, you have to learn how to be consistent and show up even when you don't feel like it. And this is something that I'm working on in quite a few different areas of my life. Like, for example, with content, I really want to get better at uploading more often and having a consistent posting schedule. There was a certain point when I was uploading like 3 videos a week on my channel. And that was like really when my channel was growing, and I was so good about being consistent, and somewhere along the way, I kind of fell off of that. And I think subconsciously, I kind of thought that like, once my channel grew to a certain point, I wasn't going to have to work as hard to maintain it. And that's definitely not the case, right? I think sometimes we kind of, one myth that's very common with consistency is this idea that like you can work really hard at something and then once you reach a certain point, you're like done. So another example could be like, you maybe work out really hard for 6 months and then you kind of get your dream body, you're starting to see some results, and then you start to realize, okay, shit, I have to keep doing this for the rest of my life. Like, this is not something that I can just stop doing. In all honesty, especially just like with the world that we live in today, if you want to build your dream life, or you want to be really good at something, or you want to be really successful, there's no stopping. There's no like end. There's no point where you get to, it may be like when you retire, right? But like with anything, again, you have to continuously put in that work, and that can be very exhausting and tiring if you're not doing things the right way. But if you learn how to have a healthy relationship with discipline, I think it becomes easier to show up consistently at all the things that you're working hard towards and have a good relationship with them. And sometimes you're not gonna feel like showing up, but you have to learn how to build, and we're gonna talk about how to do this, but you're gonna have to learn how to build it into your routine to where showing up is like not even something that you really think about, it's just something that you do. So in order to do this, you have to first come up with some kind of formula for how you're going to show up. And maybe you already have this figured out, but like, for example, if you want to go to the gym more, you want to get in shape, you have to know, okay, how many times a week do I want to go to the gym? What time of day do I want to go to the gym? Have it actually planned out into your day when you're going to do things. So if you want to be a content creator or an entrepreneur or an artist, if you have some kind of side hustle and you also have a 9-to-5, you're gonna have to figure out how, like, what days of the week, what times of the day are you going to work on your other things. So if you want to be a content creator, you need to know, okay, what time of the day am I gonna film? When am I gonna edit? What days of the week am I gonna upload? Have that formula, have that plan for yourself, because it's going to make showing up so much easier, because you know every single day when you wake up, okay, I'm waking up today and this is the time that I'm doing this. Like, it's not going to just be like a guessing game. This can honestly apply to even like small habits that you want to implement throughout your day. So maybe if you want to start reading more, maybe at 8 p.m. every single night, you just read a chapter. Like for me, some of you guys know I'm studying Spanish. So every single morning, 5 days out of the week, Monday through Friday, I study my Spanish in the morning when I'm drinking my coffee. I did fall off of doing that, but I'm gonna get back on it in May. When you have a formula, I think the thing that's really important also to remember and recognize is that you're gonna fall off sometimes. Like sometimes you're not gonna show up, you're not gonna always be perfect. You're maybe gonna have a week where you miss working out, or you're maybe gonna have a week where you miss uploading, or it's totally normal and okay to fall off of your routines and your things and your habits sometimes. We're all human beings, we're not machines. Life happens. It's okay to not be perfect. And it's really, really important when you do fall off to forgive yourself as quickly as possible, and don't shame yourself when you do fall off. Because I think the thing that makes consistency very difficult is sometimes we like to dwell on the fact that we've fallen off, or the fact that we haven't been perfect at
showing up, and then we kind of make it into a bigger thing than it needs to be. So it's really, really important to quickly forgive yourself. Like if you fell off last week, it's a new week next week. Or if you fell off yesterday, if you didn't show up to the gym yesterday, then you can still go today, right? Like every single day is a new day. Every single week is a new week. You can still show up even if you messed up, right? And it's okay. Like recognize that you're probably gonna mess up. Like we all do. It's okay. Just keep going. And I think it can also be really helpful to take some time to understand, like if you do fall off, if you do become inconsistent, try to understand why that is. Again, sometimes life just happens. Sometimes we have to take a break because we just need a break. But also there's other times when like there's no exact reason for why we fell off. Sometimes it can be very much like a mental thing or like a subconscious thing. And I think it's really good to like use those periods as an opportunity to learn about yourself. So, you know, for me, for example, I know that like there's been times where I've fallen off of my uploading or the gym or eating healthy when I am really sad or I'm not in the best place mentally. Maybe I have like too many distractions in my life, or I'm, you know, just if I don't have the right people around me. Whenever I do find myself in a place where I'm not showing up for myself and I'm not doing the things that I promised myself, I like to kind of use those as opportunities to really understand why and to really kind of evaluate, okay, like what's going on in my life and how is this affecting the way that I'm feeling about my goals, or how is this affecting the way that I am, again, showing up for myself, right? Because really, truly, if you have something going on in your life, like maybe a person that you're seeing or friends, or maybe it's just a situation that's really distracting you and like taking you away from your things that you want to work towards, it's really important to kind of understand, okay, what can I do to maybe eliminate this distraction? Or maybe I need to take some time to really deal with this thing. Maybe it's not a specific person or thing that you can just get rid of. Maybe it's just like an emotion that you need to deal with. Maybe going to therapy can be helpful. I don't know. Like there's so many different things that happen throughout our lives. Again, we are human beings. We are not perfect. And it's just really, really important to remember that like if there is something that's like throwing you off, don't be mad at yourself. Just look into it, right? Take some time. For me, I think the best thing, like one of my like favorite things, tools to use to do this is journaling. I literally like journal like every single day, because sometimes I feel like I can be like a bit of like not a crazy person, but sometimes like there's like a lot going on like in my brain. And when I just like dump everything in my journal, usually by the time I'm done journaling, I'm like, wait, like, okay, this is clearly the issue, or like this is clearly like what's going on. Or like I can journal sometimes, and then as soon as I journal, like as soon as I write the thing out, I'm like over it. So like sometimes you just, I think, need a way to evaluate how you're feeling. Again, therapy works really, really well for some people. Maybe you just like talk to yourself. I don't know. Also the gym works really, really well for me as well, because sometimes like I can just be like just needing to like alchemize my emotions. So again, just figure out a way to be very self-aware and understand like where, if something is distracting you, or again, if you've fallen off, figure out your little methods and tools that can help you get back to yourself, if that makes sense. This kind of brings me back to something that I always end up saying in my videos, but like it's important to remember that if you have something that you want to achieve in life, showing up for yourself and showing up consistently is the ultimate form of self-love. Sometimes I think consistency and discipline and all these different things can feel like, it can feel like a chore, it can feel like a negative thing. Sometimes it can feel like jail, but like just remember that like you want to achieve things because you love yourself. Yes, you're gonna have days where you don't feel like showing up, but you always like, first of all, it's also really important to remember, like you always, like if you don't feel like going to the gym, if you go to the gym anyways, you always feel better after you've gone, right? Like if you don't feel like uploading or film, like for me, there's a lot of days where I honestly just don't feel like filming videos, but then I do it anyways, and then I always feel better because of it. So it's like showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it, is how you express love to yourself. Cleaning your house when you don't feel like it is a way to express love to yourself, right? So like when you have a certain formula and you actually stick to it, it's a way of getting yourself closer to where you want to be. It's a way of taking care of yourself. It's a way of making sure that you have a clean and nice home. It's a way of making sure that you are fed properly and you're eating nutritious food. It's a way of taking care of your body and taking care of your mental and your emotional state or well-being, right? Again, we want to build our dream lives, achieve certain things, but like more than anything, it's about how you feel every single day. And you realize like, wait, I feel so much better when I'm doing the things that make me feel good. Like no shit, right? Like I think that like when you kind of like if you're ever in that mode, which again I think we all kind of get into sometimes, where we just don't feel like showing up, or we just are like I don't want to. Whenever you get into that mode, like just remember like, wait, I want, like this makes me feel good. Like why would I not want to feel good? You know what I'm saying? And again, there might be something going on in your life that is making you not want to feel good or making you want to self-sabotage, but it's really, really important to like figure out what that thing is. And again, it's really, really important to be self-aware, and again, have your tools for making sure that you are being self-aware. So whether that be journaling or meditating is also a really good one that I forgot to mention. And again, even doing those things, journaling, meditating, working out, whatever it may be, that help us feel good mentally, can sometimes feel like a chore, but just remember that like all these things are interconnected. One thing that I'm starting to like recognize and realize is that like when you do one thing that's good for you, like a healthy habit, it makes the other things easier. There's some days where it's like I don't feel like cooking for myself, but when I've gone to the gym and I get back from the gym, I then kind of want to cook for myself a little bit more. Or like there are some days where I don't feel like meditating, but when I do yoga, I feel like meditating after I do yoga. So like sometimes when you're taking care of yourself in one area, you want to take care of yourself in another, because you do one and then it domino effects into another, and then it kind of starts becoming like a habit stacking thing. I know that again, it's not always that easy, but I'm just saying this all to say that like sometimes maybe just focus on doing the thing that is easy in the moment, and that might push you to show up for the thing that is a little bit harder. So don't try to force yourself to like, if you're recognizing like, okay, I keep going to the fucking gym and I'm not into the weightlifting thing, or like I keep trying to get into running and it's just not working. Sometimes you may just have to listen to yourself and listen to your body and recognize, okay, this thing is not for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes, especially even like when it comes to like content creation or being a musician or an artist, whatever, sometimes it's also okay to try things, or like a hobby. It's okay to try things and then to recognize that it's not for you either. Like show up consistently, have your formula. And if it's been a year of you working really hard towards something and you recognize like, wait, actually, I don't want to do this at all. Like this is not for me. That's okay too. I think part of the fun thing in life is like being able to experiment with different things and try different things. And at least the cool thing about consistency is like when you show up for yourself and you show up consistently, you can at least say that you tried. If you really, really went hard with a hobby for a year or for 6 months or however long you committed to doing the thing, and then by the end of it, you recognize that it's not for you, at least you can say you did it. And that doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that you did it for a year and then now you want to do something else, right? Maybe you study Spanish for a year and you recognize, wait, I really want to learn Italian actually. Cool, then do it. Like it's okay to switch things up. So that's just one thing, but also it's really important to recognize that like just because you work really hard at something and you don't see quick results doesn't mean that you should give up either. And I made a whole different video about this if you guys like want to see me talk about this like more in detail, but like if you know you've always wanted to do something, or like you know like deep in your heart of hearts that you really want to be a content creator, or you really want to be an artist or a writer, whatever it may be, and you work really hard for a year and you're not seeing results, that doesn't mean that you should stop, right? If you still feel deeply that you want to do that thing, but you're just not seeing the external validation or the external results happen, then it's really, really important to recognize that like there's no timeline for things. For some people, being successful, it takes years or it takes like decades, right? Like sometimes we just have to show up and show up and show up and show up and show up. And you may be like just one more step away from that breakthrough and you don't even fully realize it. But you can't just give up just because you're not seeing results. Like you have to just keep showing up. Again, follow your formula, be in love with your process. Don't be afraid to maybe change up the formula sometimes. Like maybe you have to post some more, or maybe you need to really look at the content that you are posting and really recognize, okay, what can I do a little bit better? Maybe audit yourself sometimes, but like just because you're not seeing results in the timeline that you planned doesn't mean that you should give up either. And the last thing I want to say really quickly is that it's like, I know I've talked about how important it is to show up like this entire video, but it's also really important to remember that it's okay to take breaks. Sometimes you're gonna have to take a break. Like sometimes you have to literally like go on vacation, rest, recalibrate, maybe even reevaluate what you're doing, reevaluate your formula and whether or not it's working. It's important to take these breaks sometimes so that we can make sure that we are showing up the best way possible and that we're showing up in a way that actually makes sense. Sometimes that formula that we're following needs adjustment or it needs to be tweaked a little bit. But sometimes the only way that you can know how to do that adjusting is by taking a step back, taking some time off, taking some time to again rest in order to make sure that we're showing up the best way that we can, especially with the world that we live in and how crazy, like America, this hustle culture, like it can be so easy to get yourself in this cycle of just going without even thinking about what you're doing. So it's just really, really important, if you're feeling called, take a break. Like, it's okay. You're gonna be okay. The thing, like, whatever you're working at is still gonna be there when you get back. I know some people who are literally like bodybuilders who have taken months off of the gym and they still look amazing. Like, there's muscle memory for a reason. And if you feel like you're getting to that point where you're gonna burn yourself out, just listen to yourself, listen to your body, and take that break, girl. Because I'm telling you, it could make the world of a difference, and it can probably actually help you more than you think. Just remember, you deserve to show up for yourself. You deserve to show up for the goals that you want to reach. Like, you deserve to literally like build your dream life. Remember that. Come back to that truth if you ever need to. If you ever forget, like, okay, what am I doing? Like, why am I showing up? Why am I working so hard? Just remember that you deserve to get to where you want to be in life. And being consistent is not always easy. It's not even always possible, right? But it's just a form of self-love, and it's a choice that we get to make every single day. So just focus on the day-to-day. Don't focus so much on like, I'm gonna be perfect every single day for the next year. Like, no, just focus on being doing the best that you can today. And then when you wake up tomorrow, do the same thing all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all you really have to do. So yeah, I love you guys so much. I hope this was helpful in some way. Let me know in the comments down below if any of this resonated. Also, make sure that you guys are subscribed to my channel and like this video, because it really does help me in the algorithm. And yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I love you guys so much. I hope you're having an amazing week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.